to the live show this morning is courtesy of a small dog barking rather than me clapping or anything like that. Do we get to see the dog? What's your dog's name again? I forget.
I chucked a G-Shock at him to make him
You tried
stop.
to G-Shock it.
Not at him, in his proximity, but
In
it
his
worked,
general
yeah.
direction, right?
And
Okay.
because of G-Shock's industry-leading shock resistance, I did not think twice about doing that.
And because Peter don't watch this show, you also didn't think twice about doing that.
I'd feel
That's
so bad if I hit him. Oh, I feel bad if I accidentally step on a paw. Oh, I'd be crushed.
Oh, that's the worst.
You got a dog, David?
No, sadly not. My mom does have a dog, and we, it's I love dogs very much. I'm not a cat person, but I do like dogs.
Not a cat person. There we go. Well, yeah, there we go. That's the kind of personal stuff you get into in this show. If you listen to the live stuff, you get to find out about our pets. Anyway, how are you both this morning?
Good. I'm disappointed I didn't start things off by saying bonjour to you
Bonjour.
all after after a
Yes.
week in Geneva.
Most expensive meal you had in Geneva for the least amount of calories?
That's a really good question.
Probably like a 9 euro water, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
possibly. Yeah.
it's a sport of mine to maneuver around these things, and I actually found
Mhm,
that you can get some really decent options at Coop.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm happy with the way things went this year in terms of meals and value and stuff.
That is the drawback of watching of this versus watching Wonders is there's nothing laid on for you as such other than the little finger buffet that may be present in the individual maisons hotel room that they have
Yeah,
rented for the afternoon. So
that's
there
not
we
what you
go.
want.
No, you want proper food. You want proper food. Right, let's crack on with the show. Greetings, everyone. Today we have several ironic clap-ins because we missed a week, and Arrow's also not here, so we'll get to catch up with Arrow in Nicoso's time. He is recovering from a severe case of jet lag and overwatching. I think from the last week in Geneva. So first up, I think I'll tell you all three of the ironic claps, and then you can tell me which one deserves it the most for
Hmm.
this week's show. So first up, I'll not show the particular email, but it's from a company called Dorigo Atelier.
Okay.
Sounds so good. Sounds so far so good. However, their opening line is "We are Clement and Auxonce Dorigo. After a career in high level fencing, we decided to channel the same discipline into a new project. High level. Now,
Okay.
Farmer me thought, is it equestrian fencing? Is it post and rail? Is it security fencing?
Chain link,
Chain
barbed.
link, barbed wire fencing? Is it fencing as in, a little bit shady goods? I'm assuming it means yieldy sword fights. Ripley has come prepared for this gig, as we discussed before we
Yes.
started.
This
Ripley
is always
has
next to me, by the way, when I'm
Angar.
recording. It's just, yeah, it's part of America. You just
okay. How many
cover yourself in
weapons can
weapons.
you reach for in
I,
short distance from where you're sitting?
it depends what you consider a weapon,
It's
but
a
there's
weapon,
there's
right?
definitely a few bladed objects. I don't think a
Okay.
paintball gun qualifies as a weapon, but there's one over
I don't
here.
know.
No.
Okay. David, any sharp knives that you can reach to from your recording? Ripley seems to have three ways to fight us all from his recording platform.
I do have a Garmin Tactics 8 here, so if he starts shooting, I can score your shooting from the other end of the world, probably.
David, maybe you can just get a U-boat in for review and hide behind it if someone starts shooting. It is easily big enough to serve as a shield.
It
Captain
certainly is.
America's new shield. So first up, then Dorigo for use of the word after a career in high level fencing. Really needed to check that out as to maybe what that word means elsewhere. Oh, what is that? Is that a triangle? Is it like
Squid
Yeah,
a
for
Games.
some reason it's like,
PlayStation?
yeah,
Squid Games or PlayStation.
There we go.
yeah.
So that's first up. Second up, and this is reported on Watch Pro, is our favourite loss-making watchmaker. Bremont racks up £10 million worth of losses in its first year of its turnaround plan. So basically, it loses 50 pence for every pound that it earns. Currently, also interestingly, the net worth is halved. So someone's been moving some assets around, one would suspect. So yeah, Bremont's rescue plan going exactly the way we thought it might go. So that's part two. Is that worthy of our clapping? And then finally, this morning, some breaking news, and this is reported on Miss Tweed. Audemars Piguet CEO. Without me showing, can anyone remember her name?
No, although I
No.
have no
Okay.
name memory, so
Ilara Resta is apparently to exit the business, made more ironic by the fact that yesterday Ilara Resta published an article, or an article of an interview was published from this thing called EFG International, saying we never stand still. Interview with Ilara Resta. Yeah, never stand still. Has decided to leave, apparently. So
we
I'm
are the
just,
enfant terrible of the watchmaking industry. I
yeah.
hate statements like that with such a deep
No,
running,
never
deep-rooted
stand still is
passion.
her approach to employment. You know, just
Exactly,
she was
exactly.
here for a hot second, off to the
We,
next.
we put the screws in the bezel. Oh my god, we are so terrible.
Could
Wow.
you
Yeah.
imagine if they bring FHB back? I would love
I
that.
just so
Just
want
he
it. So
comes
want.
in
There's
his red
rumors.
jacket, just a vision, just I'm
Yeah.
back.
You
Just
know
like
he's
Michael
coming.
Jordan when he returned to the NBA, just 2 words, full page ad, I'm back.
I'm
Him in his
back.
jacket standing outside in their Le Brasseur
Yeah.
manufacturer.
Listen, there's rumors, mostly started by me, but there's rumors that he might be back. I'm thinking, you know, the whole Marvel thing, he's turning up. You know, he's turning up with a cloak. You know that he is walking with a cloak and like one of those walking sticks with the handle thing on the top, kind of, and a cigarette that's on the end of a stick. You know that's what he's doing.
No, they're owned by Disney now. He's not allowed to smoke. He's got
is
like
that right?
some other thing in his mouth.
Family friendly.
Yeah, a lollipop of sorts.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think he's back. I think well, I mean, who's going to take over? Who knows? Is there a family member? So yeah, I like the let's finish on a personal. What's the one luxury you could not live without? Without a doubt, that luxury would be travel. Well, you've got plenty of time to do it now. Maybe you
Yeah.
should have said the one luxury I couldn't do without would be my luxury watch. Maybe that was slightly more appropriate.
More on brand a
Okay.
little bit, yeah. What a
There you go,
hilarious
more-
answer, though.
more
Maybe
on
they will just
brand.
hire Beaver. I mean, he will come full circle. He started
You
at
think?
AP, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, go right
And
the way around. I mean, do
Beaver
you
could
think that?
do something really interesting with that brand.
Mhm.
You know, we always say, "Oh, they're just stuck doing all of the same stuff." Just let him go nuts and just see what comes out of there.
Yeah, just buy Hublot.
have him on
So
LSD or something.
any predictions as to who may go? Is it just being some boring internal appointment? Who would you like? Who's the dream appointment other than Biver, or is Biver the dream appointment, or Benny?
Yeah.
Just get Benny
How
back.
can you top
Any-
Beaver for AP? Coming full
Yeah.
circle.
True. Okay.
I think Max
No.
Booster should appoint the person. He should just like have a very strenuous, bizarre interview process where he just meets them, talks about nothing related to watches. That's important. And then chooses the new CEO for AP. But with his wonderful approach to
Mhm.
creativity, just
Mhm.
finds the right person, like Sorting Hat style, Harry Potter, more on vibes than any tangible thing.
Yeah, like that. So there we go. So which one of those 3 articles do you think deserves our clapage this morning? Which is the most ironic?
None of them
I-
make any sense to me. Not the fencing, not the losing 10 million, nor the rumors that somebody we barely
Ouch.
know is about to leave a brand we barely care about.
So yeah, the first one makes no sense to me. I'm very confused by why they're leading
Mhm.
with fencing into the watch. Are the
Mm.
watches about fencing?
Well, the thing is, you go to the website and there is not even a single hint of what the watch may or may not look like. One would assume sword hands,
Oh, the
but they'll probably
suspense.
lose that irony. They'll completely miss that trick. It'll be great big thick hands that are skeletonized, probably. But yeah, no, there's no clues to what this watch may look like.
And the
We're really
Bremont
looking
one
for
makes
fencing.
perfect sense to me. They lost
Yeah,
10
true.
million. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that tracks.
Same old, same old. So yeah, let's rule out the Bremont because it is same old, same old. Okay, so I think it goes to, what's her name again? I've lost her name.
Ilaria.
Ilaria Resta. I think it goes to well done, job well done. I hope
I mean-
hope you get to keep the watches.
Yeah. Uh, not even sure what to say. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting rumors. I'm not sure what the reason is. Maybe we will know. Maybe we'll never know. I'm just it's just again, AP is if we look at the things that anything that is not a royal oak, they have always struggled with.
Mm,
I just hope that the next person is not going to be looking at this whole shebang and saying like, well, I guess we're just a royal brand now, so we failed with Chula Damar, we failed with the 1159 and the Edouard Piguet and all the rest of the collections, so let's just keep banging out these jumbos.
mm,
And yeah, my fear is that that's what we have to look forward to.
mm. Fencing match. Chives in the chat. Chives has also got an Instagram account now, which uses an underscore. David, you'd be delighted to know Chives underscore the Watch Butler, if I remember correctly. Anyway,
Yeah.
Chives is suggesting a fencing match. This is the countdown for the fencing watch. How excited are you for
This
28
is
days'
hilarious.
time
It's
to
a
see
it's
this
a month
watch?
away.
It's a
Wait,
month
but
away.
are we actually sure it is a fencing watch, or did these guys just say, "Hey, we used to fence. By the way, we have a watch company."
I think that's basically what they said, but
Okay.
Borisic, thank you. Rest doesn't rest in her job. That's good.
I
Anyway,
used to walk
so
dogs. Now I have a kitchen. Like, okay. These things have a lot to do with each other.
right, let's talk about some watches. David, you have seen a lot of watches in the last week. Give us some highlights and some lowlights.
I saw the handmade, fully handmade Ferdinand Berthoud Nissan's
Mm,
de Montre. Sorry for butchering that. It's 800 and something thousand Swiss francs. They only make 10 plus one for an auction,
mhm,
and they, you know, the guy was sort of descriptive of the situation, but basically, let's say that they are losing, a ton of money on each of them because they took 11,000 hours to develop, and they started 6 years on it just to make 10 watches, because we had to, it took us like I don't know how many years, like 2 or 3 years, just to about 2 years to bind the two metals required to create this bimetallic
mhm,
temperature compensating balance wheel. So they had somebody
mhm,
just try and put two metals together for 2 years apparently, because the last time it was done was 100 years ago, and there's no note on how it was done. So they had to like reinvent the whole thing from scratch.
alchemy.
Because obviously a regular balance wheel is cheating. I mean, you cannot have a fully handmade watch. But what was really impressive to me is one, they didn't know how to price it, so they just came up with 830,000, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, it's high enough, and apparently they had 35 people wanting to buy it, and of course
Uh-huh.
only 10 can get it, and so they were all
Fencing match to decide.
right. Yeah, I mean, the filter is quite strong because each of them have at least four Ferdinand Berthus apparently. So imagine being a collector with like four just laying around.
Ooh,
I mean, they only
well, that's
make
interesting.
10 a year. So basically, it's just like a couple of guys buying for the number twos apparently. But anyway, so that was very cool. And what really stood out to me beyond the pricing strategy is that it was so perfect. I had to remind myself that this was done by hand. It's surreal, even if it was done, using the latest manufacturing technologies and all the rest of it. It would still be unbelievably exceptional in the way that it is done. It's
Mhm,
almost the plates and every single component you look at. It's almost like a computer render. It really
mhm.
is surreal how they did that. So that was I had to like pinch myself in the process of seeing the watch and taking pictures just to take it all in and remind myself that this is actually something that people made with their basically their
Mhm,
own two hands without CNC machines and modern manufacturing technologies.
mhm. And low light of the show, or thing that was most likely to feature in a rage post on a blog to watch
Hmm.
from you in the future.
Low light. I would have to think about that. That's a good question. I don't know. There. I will have to think. I have something buried in my mind somewhere, but I will have to think it out. One thing I really did like, and I'm sure we'll talk about this some more when Oria joins next week, is visiting the Ulo manufacturer. That was
Mm,
super freaking cool. I was very positively surprised in there. I've been many years ago, of course. COVID happened and all these things
mhm,
happened, and now what I could see is a proper functioning manufacturer. Because what happens
mhm,
sometimes on these visits is that which are almost impossible to verify. That is, everyone happens to be on vacation, and yeah, like we don't have to use all these machines at the same time. But when you visit like a proper place like Ublo was last week, you don't see an empty watchmaker's
Mhm,
bench. Basically, everyone is at work, which is
mhm,
how I guess it should be. So it was very nice to see something like this up and running, super high tech, impressively high tech
mhm,
a place. So yeah, and I'm in love with that summer watch that they created that essentially has the Gulf colors, if you know, that blue and the orange one,
mhm.
with some white ceramic on there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we had an amazing discussion with the technical director or developer of the Unico movement, who's been there for I think like 20 years at Ubla or something like that, and he developed the Unico and the Unico 2, and we were just nerding out for an hour and a half. We recorded, I think, basically all of it. So
Cool.
we still have to make something of that because it's extremely extremely horologically nerdy, the whole discussion. But it was really quite a revelation to see
Mhm.
what makes the Unico so unique. So that's cool,
Yeah,
and we will bring it to you guys on a blog to watch.
cool. Yeah, Hublot seem to have done quite a number on the press this year. The number of people I've seen posting about going on the visits and coming away, you know, either through gritted teeth admitting that actually they were fairly impressed, or genuinely coming out going, that was actually pretty cool, has
Yeah.
been quite high this year. So they seem to have presented themselves actually very well. Were they actually presenting at the show, so to speak, or had they just whisked everybody off to the manufacturer?
Do what at the manufacturer? Sorry.
So had they just whisked everybody off to the factory, or were they actually also doing something at the event? Did they have a hotel room somewhere, or was it
No.
just all
It, it,
manufacturer visits?
Ublo was not present. Maybe they showed a couple of watches somewhere,
Mhm.
but they were not
Yeah.
officially part. And Oriel was just laughing, saying like, there's he doesn't recall a single watch event where every single LVMH watch brand was present at the same time. There's always somebody missing. Here we
Okay.
had we had Bulgari, we had the LVMH, we had of course with it Girargenta, we had Tech
Mhm.
Heuer officially be there, but of course Ublo is missing because somebody has to be missing for some reason.
Good stuff. The quietest manufacturer that you've ever been to with the most empty desks going, yes, everyone's on holiday.
Hmm.
What ghost towns have you visited in the past?
I will have to think about that. It wasn't yesterday. I think it would have been like 5 years ago or something. So I
Mhm,
don't think it's fair because it was COVID and stuff like that.
mhm.
But I can tell you that it's an eerie experience. It's not a pleasant thing to visit a place where people should be buzzing, and it's eerily organized and nice and quiet and
Mhm.
all the rest of it, and just stuff doesn't get made there. That's not good.
Cool. So what else impressed you, David?
Wow. I mean, I saw some things that are still under embargo, which is which will be very cool to see. I have to go through
Mhm.
my videos. Yeah, I just the first thing I saw is under embargo in my videos. The second thing is under embargo.
Vargo.
Is I did spot Vianney Halter, and he was wearing the Deep Space Tourbillon, and some of my
Mhm,
favorite pictures I ever had the chance to capture of a watch was of his Deep Space Tourbillon. I shot those pictures like 8 9 years ago, something like that. And I went up to him. I told him this, and I asked the watch.
mhm,
I asked for the watch to be to be handed over to. Maybe I can take a few pictures and stuff. And it was very cool and very very kind and very open minded. I almost forgot, what a chill person Vianney Halter is. And I took some pictures once again of the Deep Space Tourbillon. If you guys don't know what it is, it's basically a watch that has technically a black hole in the middle of it, and you have a tourbillon, like an entire assembly. I think it's a biaxial tourbillon that's basically on a rotisserie chicken thing that is rotating like this as well. So if the whole thing's spinning, but every once in a while it just turns away from you, and it's less spectacular, and then it turns back and it's like, wow, it's like Star Trek. And then you look back down on your wrist like a minute later, and it just totally is the other way around. So it's a fantastic thing, and very wearable at the same time. I mean, of course it's like 20 something millimeters thick probably, but
yeah.
comfy nevertheless, which is a rare combination of things. So yeah, that was
Mhm.
that was that was heaps of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you liked it being described as a rotisserie chicken platform. For those of you watching the video, I've
You'd
stuck up a
laugh.
picture from 2021, a discussion of it from Sean on the website. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool, to be fair. Right, let's talk about some stuff that's come up in the last 2 weeks. There's quite a bit. First up, I was kind of maybe going to hold this off because Ariel's not here. I know how he does like to have a little bit of a rant about this brand. Fears debuts a trio of models, including its sportiest watch yet. What do we think of these gents? The Mini Panerai at 38 mil and something which looks distinctly like what's the is it a Canadian brand? The name escapes me. But what do we think of these? The Jump Power Fears, which I think's got the Christopher Ward movement in it, and then their more traditional looking piece, and a new kind of sportiest watch yet. The Brunswick 38 Charcoal Rose, the Brunswick 40.5 Jump Power, and the Redcliffe 39.5 Date ES. I can tell from the fact that I'm having to keep talking that perhaps you're not that enthused by this watch.
Well, I'm curious to see the sporty one in the metal. I'm familiar with Fears products. They're always a lot more impressive in hand. There's lots of little well-considered details that don't necessarily, you experience it by handling it. It's not necessarily something that can be immediately captured in any photo. But all of those details are generally more in the more resplendent side of things, the way maybe an hour marker hand's executed, or the finishing on it, or the geometry of the case, or those little colored flower thing that's in the folding clasp. Taking that in a sporty direction, it'd be interesting to see how that similar level of attention to detail would manifest itself. But I generally like the brand's products. I think Ariel doesn't find them interesting, but they're also not trying to be the Vianney halters of the world, where it's a mechanical marvel sitting in a black hole / rotisserie chicken. So I'm actually quite curious to see this one in person. But it looks interesting. It kind of has Zen vibes, or like Damasco.
Yes, David.
I thank you, Ripley, for pointing out that these must be handled, because the first impression that I'm saying is not the fact that I want to rush and see these hands on, and I believe these are quite expensive, and they are over £3,000.
It's
with
not
VAT.
cheap.
Yeah,
And tax.
I do like the concept, if it's true. I mean, I'm not sure how applicable it is here, but I do like the concept of a brand taking a certain type of product and then turning it up to 11 in terms of quality and details, because these things, you can buy watches for a tenth of this price, or maybe like an eighth of this price, and get the same shape and the same functionality, but at the same time it's not going to be as high a quality in its execution. So as you climb through these things, maybe you like the design, maybe you like these things, but at this you also want something that is done really very nicely. I'm just not sure how how that applies here. I would have to see these hands on. The pictures, these further pictures in the article do a lot more for these products than the first one that I saw, so that's okay.
And whether you like them or not, they're more profitable than Bremen, so at least they're doing something right.
Well, that's not a high
one of the
bar.
things, I don't own any Fears, but the people who do own them, from a variety of different walks of life, interests, lifestyles, and the models they own, all seem to like them. Kevin's got a couple, I think, at the very least. He enjoys all of them. And the same is true for people I know that write about watches, or people who just like the story of the brand and like Nicholas and got one. Everyone who owns one seems to like one. So if you find one that you gel with in terms of a design, it usually doesn't let you down with those major deal breakers, such as just a woefully undersized handset, or just a painful bracelet or something like that. They're always very well considered.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's good commentary. A well-considered watch if you like that sort of thing. Ripley, you gave us an intro to the H. Moser & C Pioneer Flying Hours watches. David, I assume you saw these at Geneva Watch Days, did you?
I did not.
You did not?
No. For some, I think Mario might have went to Moser, but it's some points, we had a split up. Yeah, it's when someone described this to me, I was saying that reminds me of the Star Wheel by AP, and others have done
Yeah.
Star Wheel watches as well. So this is a Star Wheelie thing, at least that's my impression.
Yes, it
I
is.
personally am not a fan of watches that have basically this tiny little display or useful area, and yet you have to look at the entire watch and carry the whole thing. So it's just a small window with a small, largely illegible minute display. I'm not really a fan. As a complication, it's cool, but at the same time, I just don't see the point of having such relatively poor legibility. Uh, for all this stuff.
On the watch. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reworking of the star wheel. I've not looked at great detail, but I assume it works is that effectively, rather than the whole wheel rotating underneath, so that you get the 10, it's effectively it doesn't rotate, and what's rotating is the minutes, and you've got
Yeah, the
whatever it is,
minutes rotate, so
four
it
numbers underneath each of those
Yeah.
little speech bubbles.
Yeah, so that you can
Instead.
see how the arc would align. Right now it's like
Mhm.
10, 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
As that wheel rotates and it aligns with the next little speech bubble,
Yeah. It
it'll
becomes an 11.
start, and then the 11 would appear at that one over
Yeah.
at 4
Yeah.
o'clock. It's quite
Yeah.
a bit more legible than their previous sort of version of this, which had all the wheels kind of exposed, and it looked a lot more technical, but it you kind of had to know how to read it rather than this where
Mhm.
you just look at it and go, I don't know, is it 10:25?
Mm. Yes, at least it does allow you to tell the time, or some, unlike some Moser watches where you have to guess. Effectively, 34,000 and 46,000, respectively. It's not cheap. Is it? Is there value there? Well, maybe it is a fun complication. The gold one's very nice. In fact, they're both very nice looking. I guess it's a question as to whether that's what floats your boat in the world of jump hour, which seems to be the most popular random complication of the year, from what I can tell. I mean, we've just reviewed two so far in the show from two entirely different sides of the price point. Would you be tempted to go and look at one of these, David?
No. People
No.
are asking though about the Berneron annual calendar, so we might want to look at
Yes,
that.
we will be getting onto that. We can skip ahead and go into that right now. I have thoughts on this, and I apologize in advance to Sylvan, who is almost certainly listening, for my thoughts. This is the new release, the Benron Quantième. Quantième?
Yes.
Yay!
Quantium.
Annuel, as opposed to
Mm.
annual. That's interesting. Is that our typo or his typo? Watch.
No,
No,
that's a French.
yeah.
That's French.
If
Annuel
you see the
watch.
E's wearing a hat, we're obviously speaking French now.
Yeah, but the other E's not wearing a hat. I thought all E's in French wore hats. Maybe
No,
not.
the
Anyway,
hats can go
right.
different directions too, I
Oh
think.
dear, that's how to confuse a Scotsman. Right, yeah. So you saw this. You presumably, I think I saw a photo of you with Sylvain. How is he? Stressed?
He's doing well. They got kicked out of an Airbnb because apparently it was not in the listing that they are not a because there was this is the most genuine thing ever. There was an old lady in the building who was bothered by the people walking by. I mean,
All right, okay.
clearly people looking at 120,000 Swiss franc watches in the middle of the day. Probably it's not a huge party. It's not the Rolling Stones next door. At like 3 a.m. in the morning. It's a
I don't
and
know.
just simply
Sylvan's always struck me as being capable of throwing a TV out of a window. I think he's got
yeah.
rock star vibes there somewhere. I think
It's only a matter of time before that happens. That's true.
Maybe Sylvan should be the new CEO of AP. There's a call. Sylvan for CEO of AP. Sylvan, you've done Breitling, you've done your own thing. Now it's time to go and
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
retire
your
at a
watches are sold
high.
out for the next 5 years. You can go shake
Exactly. He's got
AP
nothing.
up a little bit and return and
Exactly.
being, just
Yeah,
That
that
sounds
sounds like
nice.
fun.
go from being
a
able
great
to
idea.
make anything you want, totally whatever your creative vision, to go to the brand that makes one watch in like 18 different limited edition executions. Yes, this will be a palate cleanser for you.
Mm,
I mean, if you
yeah.
look at this one, let's be frank. I mean, looking at this watch, the annual calendar from Berneron, if you put AP on it and called the Jules Damar, people would go crazy over it.
Yeah, no, dead right. In fact, you could put quite a lot of brand names on this. and folk would go, "Oh yeah, that's interesting." From Patek or from Elang and Zona, that appears to be the quality which he's managed to
Yeah.
produce.
And the reason
Uh,
why we can apply these brands to it is because it's, you know, it's quite an inventive annual calendar in a way. You know,
mhm,
I think that's the point. You look at the huge chunky windows and they look almost too
mhm,
large. And
yeah,
Sylvan was telling me that, you know, there were collectors showing up with like 3 Pateks and Longays in hand and trying to literally comparing and measuring, you know, the size of the windows and scratching their heads like, how did you do
uh-huh,
this when
yeah,
Patek cannot do it? Because there are certain considerations for space, for
mhm,
torque, and all these things when you're trying to create a large
mm,
window, especially 3 of them on a watch. You know, that's not
yeah.
easy. So so
Yeah.
yeah, that's quite something.
Cool. Well, that's where my problem occurs because, and I have to say, true to my beliefs, that if you're going to use Windows to tell the date, you have to use Windows for all of the date. And my head just can't get round that the 5 is not the date and is in fact the hour. I just can't. I just can't look at this. I just want to see that this is Wednesday, the 5th of March, and not Wednesday, the 13th of March. I think the only solution is for me to spend a lot of time with this watch. So I think, Sylvan, if you send one across to me, uh, I'll get rid of the cognitive dissonance that's happening in my head
It's quite a
as I am looking
sacrifice,
at
Rick.
this. I think it
You
is.
doing this work for the all of us, we really
I
appreciate
am
it.
prepared. I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to put the difficult yards in. I think this watch is probably capable of surviving tractor life, but
It does
we'll
have the
see.
Ideally
armor.
suited.
You think this is the one for me? You think I should put my name on the 5 year long list?
Well, if
It
there
has a
was ever
Hunter
a
case back.
Well,
platinum watch for you to wear, this would be the one. It's got the hunter style case back, so you can close that up and protect it. It has the
yeah,
steel plates of armor
play
mounted to the
polo on
platinum.
it. I do like a hunter case back. You get like mega bonus points for incorporating a hunter case back onto it. All it
Yeah.
needs now is a hunter case front on it that hides the 5, so that I just read it as Wednesday, March, or something, or mirror, or
Wednesday,
some sort of
March.
elaborate mirror
It's a
system.
Wednesday in March. How
It's
you
a
say?
Wednesday in
Oh
March.
wow,
I
that's the
don't
most
need any
useless
more.
annual calendar. Oh, I'm so happy it jumped on the 30th of the month to the first,
Yeah.
so that I know it went from Monday to Tuesday. I mean,
So that's how we'll probably. I have tried, Sylvan. I've really tried to to look at all the pictures and instantly be able to tell what it is I'm reading, but my brain is just not managing it.
you
But it
read it
is a beautiful thing.
horizontally. You know, it's like Wednesday, the 13th. It's 90 minutes
No,
into the hour, March.
yeah, you
Yeah.
go, the time goes top to bottom and the date goes left to right. So if you go 5, for the date, and then as you go down would be the minute hand, we're at 9, and then the seconds, and then the date Wednesday, the 13th of
Mhm,
March. To me, this
mm.
makes so much sense from a reading format instead of hunting around the dial to find like where the date is or the date. Oh no, that's the leap year indicator. This to me makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
It's a
okay. Each
fantastic piece. It
e
just goes to show that, you know, once you clean a layout up like this to such a crazy extent, where you have
mm,
large, you know, chunky windows that are easy to see, easy to read, easy to identify. You have essentially just 2 hands, you know, or 3 if you like. It's still, there's quite a lot for us mere mortals to process, even though it's just
mm,
a watch trying to give us proactively some easy to process information.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
the
that
case back
movement is
shot.
lovely.
It's
That's the case back.
surreal.
Mm,
It's really cool. In person, it
yeah.
looks so flat because somehow this case back side, obviously the calendar module is on the dial side, but this case
Mhm,
back shot, it has almost perfect, virtually perfect symmetry.
mhm,
And but what really stood out to me was that it looks like thin as a sheet of paper, basically.
mhm,
On this picture, it kind of plays with that a little bit. There's a little bit too much contrast here for that effect to really manifest. But in person, it's, you're looking at an ultra thin movement in a way when you look at it through the hunter side case back.
mm. This is
You
the
have nice little
instructions.
pushers. Yeah.
This is the instructions. I would need to carry this. I think I would need to have this on like a wee Aztec card
No, just tattoo it
strapped
on
to
the
my.
back of your
Just
hand. That's a pretty
tattoo it on the
one.
other wrist. What one says the time? what one's the date? I don't know. I'd be
You
like the
set
guy
the
in the
times through
meme.
the freaking crown. It's not that difficult. And then you have just two pushers on each side, and you just jump
Mhm.
the window that you want. I mean, and that's
Mhm.
Oh,
as easy
and it
as
has
that.
that idiot-proof complication. So if you hit the button rather than jumping to a non-existent date like the 31st of February, it'll just reset to the 1st of the following month.
Mm,
So I think that's I think it's a genius caliber as far as just the aesthetics of it and just how it is able to do that with the windows, without creating radically different planes or weird placement.
mm. 100 and somewhere between 120 and 140,000 Swiss francs. It seems reasonably priced. Dare I say it? Uh, does that make sense pricing wise, or is Sylvain going the way of Bremer and Ferdinand Berthoud and is underselling himself
Well, they
with the
have
price?
they have a fixed annual output of 24 pieces per year,
Hmm.
so they have to move to 24. As long as he has
Mm,
24 people look at this and say, "Oh shoot, this is much better than the Langeys and the Batailles that I have, and I want to
mm,
have the best that that
yeah.
an annual calendar can be." I would just buy it, money no
Mm,
issue. Then he's fine, and I'm sure he's way past those 24 people per year.
yeah, yeah. What is the strap situation? Because a lot of this watch is shown as just the case. What's the
Steven
strap and the
hates
buckle?
straps.
Well, that's not very much use. What's he want me to do? Hang it around my neck? I need to hang it upside down
Yeah,
so that I can maybe. No, would that work? Would
I
that
just
solve
made
my
that up. I'm
problem?
not sure if he hates them though, but it sounded funny.
He's certainly not highlighting the Tang buckle or butterfly clasp or dive extension that comes along with this watch.
Dive extension.
So I think this is a dive
Dive
extension. I
The
think
tractor
I think that's what you
extension,
need.
in case you want to
Tractor
wear it
extension.
on the outside of your um
Outside of a
Tractor
jacket, sweet
suit.
jacket that you get.
No, that's
So,
cool. So
Rick,
yeah,
which one do you want? Do you
yes.
want this or a new tractor? Which one do you want more?
Ooh. Well, how much is this? 140,000 Swiss francs is a lot of tractor. I could have,
Really? Okay.
I could have fun on a tractor of that scale and
You could
earn
have
enough.
fun on your existing tractors with this watch on as well.
That is also true. I think I would go. I think I'd go for the watch because I have a newest tractor. I've got enough
Do
tractors, as everyone keeps on telling me. You can never have enough tractors.
do tractors hold their value or do they
Well,
depreciate like
no, they tend to hold their value. You need to keep them for a wee while, so they do depreciate, but then they just trundle along. So long as it's not got too much electronics on it, much like modern cars, the
okay.
old ones, the ones you can fix yourself or ship off to Iowa, where the nearest tractor dealer's 100 miles away, is the ones you want, so that the farmer can fix himself. Anyway, that seems to be enough tractor chat for today. I would take the watch. I think the black ones probably suits the lifestyle better. It'll show up the mud
Yeah.
less.
David,
The
what's your
white,
preference on the colorway?
uh,
That's a good question. Hmm, probably the black looks a little bit more menacing, but it's also less legible. So I'd be hard pressed to make a choice. And for you?
I'd go the blue and silver one. I live really close to Dodger Stadium, so I could just blend into the crowd on the occasion I want to go see a game. But I also just I like the contrast a bit. I think the black is lovely, but I do like that bright pop of color kind of in the center and
mm.
on the windows.
Do we know what's
Right.
coming next? A tennis ball green version or
Poor guy just
something
launched
else?
this last week, so let's give him a bit of.
Come on, Sylvain. Yeah, yeah,
It's a
shift
one
me
man
on
show. Like,
here.
yeah, we're bored
Stop,
already.
slacker. Uh,
Slacker.
yes, bored already. Presumably, yeah. Well, I think there's no doubt that whatever
Well,
comes next will be
something
equally
else to
gorgeous.
note on it is in the press materials it mentioned that it is a model, yes, but it's also they developed this platform to serve as a foundation for other
Mm,
high complications and calendars.
mm,
So presumably we could see a different iteration of these, or we could see something completely different that is a quantum
mm.
other calendar, Hebrew
I,
calendar.
I think we let Sylvain make his minute repeater using the A Blog to Watch theme tune.
Could you
What's that?
imagine if you just pulled a little lever and it launched into that whole thing? Oh, I would love that. You can keep your Westminster chimes, sir. Check this out.
Disco going on in the corner. Good, right. So that is the latest from Sylvan. We'll need to invite him back on the show, see what he's saying to life after this. Or where shall we go to next? Let's go to this from Ripley and Zenith. The Zenith Defy Chronograph USM watches. I did have to look up what USM was.
I did too.
However, the fact that USM does look quite cool and that it comes in a USM box, this is a hit. I love this.
The box is very cool.
The box looks cool.
They give you this box that's like this large, and it has 3 drawers in it, so you can put, I don't want to say around 20 watches in it.
Yeah.
And you get that huge box with every single watch purchase, and it's like 10 kilos, like 20 pounds per box. It's very, very heavy because USM uses these freaking heavy like balls. Hold on one second.
David sounded in distress there for a moment. Oh, there we go. All right, he has. Or they were giving them away as
David
swag,
showing us his balls.
So this is my main ball,
YouTube.
just one of them, and this is basically so freaking heavy, it's insane. If you drop this on your foot, you're done. And because these are the joints for the modular furniture, and somebody thought it's a good idea to create this half-a-pound keychain in case you don't want to lose something, but it's really substantial. And yeah, that little box was cool. The colors on the dial are cool. The leather bracelet is, it would be a stretch to call it a developed taste. It's quite bad. I'm not sure who would want a leather bracelet. I don't know why it's not an option. Like you can choose between Oyster and Jubilee on some of the Rolex watches. I think that should be the case here as well. Maybe it is, and I'm not aware of it, but I think it would be.
I quite like a ladder bracelet.
Do you like your hair like sprouting out in between the missing links that you already paid for, but they're not included in the bracelet?
Have you looked at me this morning? My hair is literally coming out through the gap in my glasses. On my head. I am the iteration of the ladder bracelet. Joseph in the chat is agreeing with me, likes Benron, but finds a dial configuration with the 2 flanking windows. He's struggling. So I think, as well as sending one to me, Sylvan, you need to send one to Joseph. You need to train out the misreading of this watch from us all. I think the only fair way to do that is to send us them. I do actually quite like these Zenith watches. 11 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Why
it
do
seems
I think
a bit rich,
reasonable?
It seems a bit rich at first, but then you realize it's pretty much priced right in line with a lot of the other El Primero based ones. It's like roughly the same price as a Chronomaster Sport, bit more expensive than like an entry level El Primero. But this is the first chronograph version of this vintage inspired Defy case. So it's not like, oh, they marked it up X for a collab. There isn't like a standard production version of this Defy chronograph.
No, I think these are pretty cool. I'd certainly wear one. I don't know. I mean, I've worn ladder bracelets before. I've always thought they were okay. Maybe because I don't have hairy arms. Maybe it's a bit more distressing if you get great like hairy arms catching stuff on the way through. But no, I quite like this. Zenith, any particular Zenith chat at the show? Again, we commented in the past about how few Zeniths they actually sell. Is this going to change Zenith's fortunes, teaming up with the people that manufacture drawers for a living?
I mean, it's I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's colorful. At least there are colors. What can you say? I'm not sure it's going to turn things around, but at least they are being playful. They are reaching out for collaborations. They are proactive, so that's good.
Okay. Ripley, any take on Zenith as a brand at the moment?
I always like them. I feel like they should just be bigger than they are. They make like, what was it, 20-something thousand watches a year? Which when you compare that to a brand like Rolex, and then you compare that the price point that both of them operate, it seems like one should just be almost as special as the other, or like Omega. Zenith should be right up there with them. The automatic chronograph, the El Primero, storied history, good looking watches, cool stuff with the high beat. There's a lot to like about that brand. I'm a big fan. I don't own one, but I would happily own numerous different ones. For the most part, I like what they do, but just like any brand, some things are more my cup of tea than others. But that's a healthy sign of a brand. If you like everything that a brand produces, that brand might have a pretty narrow design language.
Okay, look, so we have a choice of two for next. We might save one of them for hit miss, maybe. So in the Bernron theme, we have an A. Lang & Zona Richard Lange jumping seconds watch, pink gold dial. So we can have a chat about that. Or we have the Jaeger LeCoultre, JJ LeCow, Master
JJ
Grand
Leco.
Traditional Caliber 985. Where would you like to go to? JLC or that other mob?
Let's do
A.
JJ.
Lang & Zona. JJ, let's do JJ. So JJ LeCow. I wonder if he realizes just how famous he is in the watch world for mispronunciation. Here we go. Jaeger LeCoultre Master Grand Traditional Caliber 985 watches. Sylvan, I'm really sorry, but this is a calendar done right. It's all pointer dials, except the year, which will let you off
Illegible,
with.
but
You cannot read it in the render.
Illegible, but correct.
yeah.
Correct, but illegible. So
You
we score them up
cannot
for
read
doing
it with
right.
infinite depth of field. How could you read this in your own eyes?
So, what do we? Well, will it work? Is always the first question to ask about JLC. I think this probably works okay.
Look
It's
at
not.
the year aperture. You need a loop.
Hmm.
Have you
No, that's
noticed
like
there's a year
that's
aperture there?
yeah, but
Oh
that's
no.
the same as
It's
that's the
absolutely
same as
minuscule.
IWCs for pets. It's the same. They're buying out the same parts bin between IWC and JLC.
It's a
For that.
module that they dump on top of
Mm.
a movement, and
Yep.
you have these little corrector pushers on the side of the case that you have to press with something like a toothpick or something,
Yep.
undignified, and to adjust these things. It's just these watches belong back in like 2008 at best.
Mm.
I think. I mean, it looks
Okay.
pretty. It's impressive. It's the sort of thing you put out on Zurich Airport, and people say, "Oh well, okay, Zsuzsa really knows how to make a watch." Even though I can't read any of these things, and I have no idea what it does, and it's thick as a hockey puck. It, they sure know they know way around the watch. Stop with these modular. Is this? It's probably an annual, a perpetual. But if it's even if it's modular like this, which is an ancient module that's illegible and probably I'm just making assumptions here, but fragile. It's not it's impressive looking if you're not into watches at all.
Yeah. And the fact is, it looks like an IWC perpetual calendar, but has all the impracticality, as you say, of needing to find a toothpick or that wee Apple thing you use for getting the SIM card out of a phone in order to move the pushers rather than, please, if you're going to use modules, use the IWC one and at least let us control the perpetual calendar via the crown, if nothing else. It does seem a bit strange. It's also priced at, let's see.
I like when they try to create a dignified version of the undignified object to push it with. So delivered with your however tens, $100,000 watch is like a gold poker or like a
Yeah.
little ornately. Am I supposed to carry this thing? Like you? $200,000.
Oh, is
Never
that
mind.
right?
What you need is a Samsung Ultra, whatever nonsense, so you can have one of these like little pins inside, so that you can just. I've
Yeah.
used this many times out of.
Well, yeah.
the
Now
stuff
that
I was
Apple
doing.
doesn't use physical SIM cards, those little Wii poker things they give you with an iPhone are going to become rare, and we'll need something else to push it with.
So you see,
Well,
for not that much more than the Bernron, JJ does give you a Tourbillon for like 50K more.
But the
And
movement's not made of gold, is it?
that's true.
Yeah, I love that
Rotor, I think
Burneron
so.
makes the movement from gold. That's
It's
always
made
such
out
a
of
flex.
old spam boxes upcycled into this. you, you know, I'm sorry,
joke.
for being so cynical, but they're charging 200 grand, and you do get, of course, a fair bit. And I love Jaeger. I just think that they should be way past this point at this point in time. Just like
What water resistance of 55 bar, 50 meters? What's Berneron's water resistance? These are the important things we need to
3.
know. 3, so 20 meters extra water resistance, and the Tourbillon Perpetual calendar than
Yeah, but that's
the Bergeron
horizontally. So
calendar.
if you swim 30 meters in the Berneron, it's probably junk, and then if you swim 50 meters with this Jaeger, it's probably going back for a service too. So it's like, yeah, it's 30 meters is like this 30 meters, okay?
way.
Not like this.
That's great. That's got to be the ultimate get out. Is it didn't actually specify anywhere in the instructions as to which plane the 30 meters.
It's not a
was on.
depth rating. It's just a water resistance
Distance.
rating.
It's just a distance. Height above sea level for the rain.
Oh,
So
you
yeah,
guys
I mean,
see the sort of consumer advice we are providing on this show. That's important to know.
this is it. I mean, Patek changed their whole grading system just because of the confusion that was being
Yeah.
caused,
And
by
only
all of this.
created more confusion.
More confusion. Nobody dares go anywhere near water with their Pateks now.
Patek on now. Dear me. Yes. So okay, right. Let's move on to some Hitmas maybe. Let's give Chives his outing, his report back from Geneva Watch Days. See what you think. Geneva Watch Days are upon us. This is Chives writing to his, I think it's Albanian that he's now working for. Exciting collections of novelties. MB&F have released some new legacy machines with rubber straps, 80 meters of water resistance. There's also some mad additions in primary or Alan Silberstein colors. Did we see any of the MB&F stuff in Geneva, David? Was he present
Yes.
in the
They
Board of
were,
As doing his
but
thing?
I went to I ended up going to the Mad Gallery, which is always fun. You know, if you're in Geneva, it's almost a must visit place. Very difficult not to spend a couple hundred on this and that. You know, some sort of a fun object or something.
So what did you
They
buy?
did have these
Go on,
colorful.
you can confess. What did you buy? You can confess. What did you buy?
Nothing. I was in and out because I know that this visits prove to be very expensive, and I checked out these colorful ones, and I wanted to see them hands on because I was when I first saw them on pictures, I was like, I'm not sure which one I would want to buy, and I ended up with none of them because, to be honest, all the colors seem just weird, and I think the mad ones and twos and whatever with the spinning rotor on the top, it's just so over the top anyway. With these colors, it just looks a bit too toy-like to me. I think it's great. It's loud. It's never gonna be a discreet watch probably until they do an all black one. But it's just, even for my taste, it was just a little bit too. I like fun watches. Don't get me wrong. I like colorful ones, but these just look juvenile to me in a way that I couldn't resonate with. So it is what it is. But of course, the slimmer execution of these mad watches is much better. I have the thick one with the hour and minute scale, and these ones only have the hour scale, and the whole presentation is much thinner, much more elegant. I'm still surprised how good it actually looks on the wrist. So these are fantastic. So if you like the colorways, enter the raffle. Fingers crossed for you guys to try and win. I believe they have several times over the listings or the available pieces. But yeah. Of course, these all got sold out anyway.
Best swag of the show, other than your single ball?
I did get to take this book from Hublot, from the Hublot manufacturer with me, which is fun. Because when I opened it for the first time, it opened the Jean-Claude Biver's nonsensical drawing that somehow creates fusion and Big Bang between the tree and the air. So it's just like fusion. And I thought,
in a week that people are getting in trouble for making drawings on bits of paper.
So do you get that? Can you understand the point of that? The Big Bang goes up and the fusion comes down, and in between the two is a money printing machine through the 2000s. I like the drawing. I have an original Biver drawing somewhere actually, which is a lot of fun. And I thought, sure, I will take this. I have EasyJet can carry it for me.
So it's not appearing in a certain 50th birthday book that's doing the rounds at the moment, then that's fine. So De Bethune and UN both released variations of their usual stick. For me, there were three standouts. Sylvain Byron's new annual calendars, a masterpiece of legibility. Sorry, Chives, I disagree. It looks like a Lange, but I'm not sure that's really a criticism. Moza produced another brown Pioneer Perpetual, as well as a pair of Wandering Hour watches, more beautiful than the 1159 and more legible. I have registered interest for Sir. Last but first, Okay, last but first is Charles Genta's Chiming Ellipse, a watch that harks back to Genta's 90s pomp without the step cases, bizarre case shapes, and cartoon figurines that so disfigured those marvels. And of course, Gents designed the Ellipse as well as, I'm sure you know, limited to 10 a year. We may be after trouble Alexia Genta for an allocation, but as you know, I have a slight acquaintance with the lady. Well, there's a bit of gossip for you, which is more than can be said for the chancellors at Gerald Charles. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Whose idea of a tribute to a genius was to make a watch the color of a high-vis jacket. Yours as ever, Chives the Watch Butler. There's some.
Is Chives
thoughts.
confusing Alexa Genta with Amazon's Alexa? What connection does Chives have to the Gentas?
I don't know. It's all in the internet. It's the interwebs. I blame all of them. David.
There are multiple layers of confusion here in this word salad, at least for me.
Yeah, word salad. There's a song. I think we're going to change the show song to David has only got one ball. I'm not.
I actually have two.
I'm not sure.
One is orange and the other one is yellow.
That's the second verse sorted.
See your doctor.
It's definitely cream for that. He's clanging his balls together.
Yeah.
That's gonna smart.
This is PG-13 or probably more. It's rated R at this point, or whatever it's called.
Okay, cool. Right.
Do you have anything to connect the two balls together? Did they give you like one of the rods, or what goes into the slot?
So the thing is, like, this is how you actually build your little furniture. So if I drop this on my computer, it's going back to China. So you have to have like these little things in there. So yeah. So listen to that. The sound of Swiss quality. Swiss quality balls.
Swiss quality balls.
They do sound solid. They sound very solid.
Yeah. Well known. Yeah. So anyway, there'll be are you familiar
Don't
with
tease me with my one ball? I will show you the other one, sir.
Are you historically familiar with the old World War II song about one ball? No, is that ringing? Yes, you are familiar. It did make across the Atlantic. That's fine. We'll actually
probably have a Russian version of that.
But they were small, right? That's the second. Yeah, I got
it. He knows his history. So there we go. We get ChatGPT to write the music for that. Right. Before we begin Hit Miss, maybe let's find out what you're wearing or what's on the desk. David just has lots of balls on his desk. It would appear.
Balls and the tactics.
What else?
Tactical balls.
Tactical balls. Anything else worthy of note on your desk?
Isn't this enough? I think it's more than enough.
That's enough. Yeah, fair enough. That's enough. Ripley has taken his hat off. I think he needs to put his hat back on. Or he's thrown it. Have you thrown it at the dog again?
Near the dog, he was woofing at something, and I tossed it next to him to get his attention. I didn't want to yell, so I can actually grab another. I've got a lot of hats, like in immediate vicinity. We can go Vare. We can
okay.
We can go the fictitious Formula One team from the IWC Apple movie.
Nice.
HYT. There's a helmet over there from the Tudor bike ride, and I think that's a Brown Breguet one. But we'll do this.
HYT one's quite cool.
I'm showing my balls. Cool. You're showing your helmet. What is this show coming to? We're gonna get banned.
My name's Richard. What's the t-shirt? T-shirt from the Blog to Watch store.
This is the one I was wearing last time. I didn't get a chance to wash. I just left it up here when I took it off, and it is the red diver dial. This is non-luminous. These are embroidered. This is the applied numerals, if you will.
Cool. Right. Excellent. I'm in Scotland wearing a panerai. Right, let's crack on. We will go to the flyback for some inspiration for this week's Hit Miss, maybe from Mike. First up, the Zinn 104 Classic 12. I like Zinn. Not sure I understand this watch. Gents, any strong thoughts before we vote?
I have an absence of feelings.
Absence of maybe that's what it is. It just makes me
void.
It's a void.
It's a watch. If it stopped existing tomorrow, I wouldn't care. But I also know that there are people out there who wear these and rock these and feel very happy with them. So I'm happy that these exist. This is just like a homework. Well, it's a well done homework, basically. It's a sensation I'm getting.
Fair enough, Ripley.
This wouldn't be the Zin for me if I could only have one of their models. I like some of the more outlandish tooly stuff, or
Mm,
some, give me some hydro filled thing or at the very least. But I do
absolutely.
really like these. I think it's a great watch. It's a lot more approachable than like the helicopter rescue EZM, but um it's gonna be well made like every Zin. It's very versatile from an aesthetic standpoint. It's gonna be legible. You can see that 12-hour bezel makes sense. So there's a lot to like about it. If you want a more understated, classy kind of vibe from Zin, this is just as good as anything.
Mm. I think it's the bezel that I have the problem with. I think it's just not big enough. It needs to be thicker. The numbers need to be chunkier. It's a Zin, for goodness sake. It's not a little delicate, you know,
Hmm.
micro brand or something. So there we go. Right, let's vote. Hit, miss, or maybe. 1, 2, 3, go. It's a miss. It's a maybe. It's a maybe. Okay, David, final thoughts on this, or still a void of opinion?
Yeah, it's just a word. Some people are looking for this, or actually, it's a watch that you don't know you're looking for. You go, you check it out, and you're like, "Well, I guess this is the
Hmm.
best of all things," and they just buy it and just wear it, and that's all there is to it.
It's been suggested that yeah, you should be going to Greenwich each day,
Hmm.
David, with your collection of balls. You can check
Okay.
out the live stream for the displayed chat on that. Ripley, just complete lack of enthusiasm.
No, it's a maybe. I mean, if this was my particular taste, I'd say it's a hit. There's nothing glaring as far as
Mm,
execution or proportions. It's probably going to be just as good as any other Zen. It's just if you look at a brand like Zen where they do make that kind of crazy stuff, why not get that? It's like buying an SUV from Lamborghini, but clearly the Urus sells a lot. But if I was getting a Lamborghini, I'd either get a tractor like you, Rick, or I'd go and get the supercar.
yep, tractor's the way to go. Much more practical and doesn't break down as much. Right, next up. From Singer, the Singer Caballero. First three-handed time only watch from Singer. They're taking a real drop down in the price bracket as well to 17,500 Swiss.
17.
Yeah,
Mm,
David, did you see this in Geneva?
I did not, but I almost feel bad for doing so. That looks pretty wild.
Yeah, I'm thinking this might be quite the hit for Singer if this takes off. I'm not sure how many they can actually make. It's 39 millimeters, 6-day power reserves. Maybe I think it'll wear quite neat. I think it'll probably wear small, but again, always
Super
open
cool.
to having Singer send me stuff to prove me wrong. No power reserve indicator, but has four uh, jewels visible through the dial on the front. They do not appear to be equally spaced, which may upset some people. I'm just going to go to the Singer website and see if we can find
The
some
case
more
shape looks a
images of
little
this
bit like
watch.
those Pollen watches, those little field watches they do. That
Okay,
kind of
I'm on.
C-shaped case.
C shape,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on the Singer website now, and there's all I'm seeing is horses, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh no, the jewels are evenly spaced. It's just the image that they used in there.
The hands
Let's
are
see,
too
that doesn't look
small.
easy. Yeah, doesn't look evenly
Wha-
spaced there, but it does look evenly spaced there. That's
Why
very
are the
odd
hands so
perspective
freaking
change.
small? It's a 39 millimeter watch with 400 Newton meters of torque. Why not just put decent sized hands on it?
Yeah, actually, now you notice that maybe this isn't all it's cracked up to be. So, what do we think? First impressions: a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. Maybe miss. Maybe David. Have you just tipped on to a miss?
It's easy to tip over. I mean, those hands are just too small. I
Mm,
can't tolerate watches with such tiny hands.
it does.
Especially when it's a three-hand watch with no dial texture, no
Mhm.
indices. All you have to look at are the hands and four jewels. I mean, hands are super important. I mean, even if you create a funky watch, a fun watch, a serious watch, or whatever, their size is beyond.
Mhm.
It's the beyond. It's like a car with square wheels. If you don't have like proper size hands, at least in my opinion.
Mm.
Otherwise, I love the colorway. I like the movement. The price isn't that crazy. So overall, I think it would be fantastic with just proper size hands.
Yeah, it does look like it wears on the image. I'll just put the website from Singer on. It does look like it wears really small. That does look tiny on that guy's wrist. Looks
Really?
fidgety almost.
Mm.
But then maybe I'm just looking at Panerai. Ripley, your thoughts?
I said it's a maybe. Like the way the movement looks. I'm not in love with the dial, but I think it's interesting. But as David said, that the hands, that minute
The
hand
minute
is
hand
just
especially.
so
Mm.
severely undersized. And I kind of give certain brands like Citizen a pass when it's an undersized minute hand, and I know it's because it's the Eco Drive movement, and they have to be more conscientious about the weight of it, and it's a diver, and blah blah blah. But what, like as David mentioned, that movement does not appear to be lacking for torque. Can guarantee you they can add a fraction
It's
of
a
a millimeter
monster.
to that hand, and
It's,
you know,
mm.
Yeah.
it just seems like such a small oversight that's preventing it from being an otherwise really, really compelling watch, that this bothers me more on this than it would on a watch that didn't quite look as promising.
Mm. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, if you look at
60
it,
hours
not
of
even
power
the
reserve. It's
yeah.
obviously got the ability to
I would
move bigger
sacrifice 2
hands.
of those days for proper sized hands, really.
Hmm.
And these look like bespoke hands, of course, with the orange
Hmm.
loom and
Yeah.
the skeletonization and the sword shape and all the rest of it. So these hands look like when Rolex put the tiny hands on the larger Explorer one, right? And it's just like wow.
Don't
And
look like
even
the
the
hands off a
second hand
Polo
doesn't
Prof.
reach what?
They look like the hands off a Polo Prof.
Mm, yeah, they do. Yeah, good call.
So, and they also, the gentleman handling the watch in the images and saying, well, looks like he's been farming for the day. That's what my hands look like at the end of the day, handling a watch. I think some assistance to actually just wash the hands, because it's it's a bizarre hand model they have chosen for this watch.
Hey,
Quite
hold this.
chunky. Yeah, yeah. Hold this. Let me take a photo of it. So yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's so close to being so great, this watch. This
Yes,
is
yes,
why,
that's it.
we are dwelling on this.
It's almost disappointing. It's a good. Well, is it a good first effort? It is a first effort. Let's just leave it at that.
Could they
It's a first
just
effort.
change the hands? Like this has just been released. Could they just like, sorry, we didn't scale up in the render. We're gonna do it right and just roll it out with a proper handset?
Mhm.
Yeah, they do need to be a bit longer
Should be
for
an easy
sure.
fix.
Anyway, okay. From small hands to basically lack of hands.
Look,
This
man,
is
no hands.
the Viana Halter Messina Lab Old Soul. I'm not actually sure how you tell the time on this watch. I think it's an outside minute track and a 3 o'clock hour marker. I'm not sure what the rest of the dial does, if it does anything, or it's just a holding spot for big branded Vianney Halter and Messina. They seem to have managed to get about 19 different fonts into this watch. And there's a dog missing its studded collar in terms of the crown somewhere. So somewhere there's a British bulldog that wants its collar back. That's my initial thoughts on this watch. And it's 37,000. You're joking me. And why are you making 47 pieces? Why not 40 or 50 or 45? That's just weird. So Diana Halter, Messina Lab, instant reaction is a hit, a miss, or a maybe. 1, 2, 3, go. Miss, maybe. David, why is it a maybe?
I would have to see these hands on. I quite like this design where the case looks rather generic and safe, and it just gets crazier and crazier as you look towards the center of the watch. And I like that ripple effect. Basically, I think that's really quite cool. I'm not really a fan. I'm not sure what the added value of this being a Messina or whatever is, and I'm not sure I would want to see it on the dial in with such prominent letters. I think that space could have been used in some other ways, but I guess it's their thing, so they can do whatever they want. Yeah, it's very steampunky,
Mm,
cool, and maybe it's just a good entry point if you want to enjoy a Vianney Halter timepiece, fresh out of the
mhm.
box. So I can see the niche there. I'm just not sure that this is where I would spend my 37K.
Yep. think it's a mystery dial, is it? That our hand looks like it's
Mystery
maybe
hand, yeah.
floating. Time is a fire in which we burn. Delmore Schwartz, whoever that is. They felt that their website really needed a slogan on it for some reason.
So deep.
Old school.
If you look at, I went on Chrono24, and the cheapest Vianney Halter watch
Mhm.
is 50,000. So this
Right,
being
okay.
37, you're right there with a Vianney
Mhm.
Halter on your wrist. I mean, the movement is an old Minerva that's been revamped or whatever.
Mhm.
Can we see the case back?
Yeah, let's get on the case back. Yes, it's nice enough. But
I
still
can hear that
37
movement
grand.
all the way from here. Tick tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. These
Yeah,
are
it's
loud
chunker.
movements. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I see the dial, I'm getting a Joker
Mm-hmm.
vibes off of
Oh,
this
yeah.
from
Does have
Constantine
a bit of
Shaken.
that going on.
Getting
Yeah.
big Joker vibes from this watch. So yeah, Ripley.
I said it's a maybe. I'd really need to see one of these in person. There's a lot I like about it. There's a few things I don't like. The giant Messina branding on the bottom. I'm not crazy on the bulldog collar style details, but that sort of is the Vianney Halter design element that you'll see throughout
it?
his works. So I
Okay.
think you'll have to give it a pass. This particular photo of it that we're looking at right now, it just looks like the silvered C3PO iteration of some Constantine Shaken model that has
Yeah.
yet to come out. This really looks like a face. But yeah, I'd need to see this in person. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not quite certain. This is one of those ones where like execution is going to be everything. So yeah, I want to see it.
Okay. All righty. And finally for today, we trailed it a little bit when we made a choice. We're going to look at the A. Lang & Zona Richard Lange. Let me get the stuff on screen. For those watching on YouTube, remember you can always watch the show being recorded live on a Tuesday morning and watch the edited version on the Blog to Watch channel, generally a Thursday or a Friday. New release, A. Lang & Zona Richard Lange Jumping Seconds watch with pink gold dial. We'll get to the money shot first, which is they wouldn't tell us how much this watch costs. So we're assuming it costs
Hundreds
a
of
lot.
thousands.
We're assuming it costs more than both the Bernron and the JLC we've looked at. But is it better? Is it a more desirable watch than either of those two? I think you probably make an argument it's more desirable than the JLC. I think you'd be hard pushed to say that it's more desirable than the Bernron, though.
Yeah,
Thoughts,
that's a good
David?
point. Let's see the movement.
Let's see the movement. Scroll down.
I was expecting
Yeah.
something. That's like
Yeah.
a big plate with
chunky
lots of
plate.
little screws in it. If you like big plates with lots of tiny screws in it, how many? That's like
I cannot
3,
lie.
6,
I do
9,
like big plates.
12, 15. That's around 20 something little blue screws of varied sizes in just 1/3 plate. That's more like a 2/3 plate, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
And when you
expecting
take,
more of a Dotograph kind of case back, where it's like
yeah,
a miniature Metropolis of gears and stuff. This is obviously technically highly engineered, absolutely beautifully executed. This is a wonderful thing, but at the same time, and this whole like, oh, we don't want to say the price. You are making 100 of these. It's not like we're trying to protect this one customer. When you make 100, there has to be a price, in my opinion.
yeah. You wonder what they're hiding underneath that plate. It's all the
More
plastic
gears and
More
just a
gears.
huge barrel.
A
Maybe
battery.
two. Yeah, it's a deadbeat second, sir. And it just has a Kazi F91W's movement in there.
Yeah,
That's a digital. All right, maybe it's going to be something else. But it does have like a Tico time movement in there or some other nonsense. That's why the battery is. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Imagine everything else is just for show. It's just all the pretty gears and wheels and stuff.
For 40 years of kidding us on, it's just it's batteries all the way down.
I was not expecting that.
There we go. So hit, miss, or maybe. I'll give it a maybe. What about you two? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Three
maybes.
maybes.
See, maybe Ripley. Why is it a maybe?
I mean, it's hard to give it a firm hit. This is hardly the long I'd buy for myself. I also don't even know what price we're talking about on this one. So when I think about when they refuse to give a price, I have to assume it's going to be more expensive. And I think about all of the other longas I would take before this. So it's fine. It's hard to give it a miss as well because it is, it's going to be a gorgeous, lovely, beautifully executed creation. And things like the dial, it just looks fleshy in the photos. It's probably going to be really nice in person. It does look flat. I would still take the burner on over this hands down, but yeah, I can't give it a hit. I can't give it a miss. So it's a firm maybe, but I'm sure it'll be really nice in person. Maybe not 6-7 figures nice or whatever they're asking, but it will be nice.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, that's kind of our show for today. Do go and check out Kevin and everything that's happening at the British Watch Show down in Bournemouth, I think, this coming weekend. So go and find him on the internet. We'll put a link, if we can, in the show notes so that you can go and check that out. If you happen to be in the area, lots of British brands showing their wares at that particular show. Unfortunately, we didn't record last week, so we couldn't give a shout out a bit further in advance. But that's what happens. Thoughts for the coming week? Lots of write-ups to do, David. Lots of
Yes.
things embargoed that are soon going to be unembargoed.
A lot of cool and nice watches to look forward to. So yeah, stay tuned very much.
And
Good.
big news for watches is, I guess, today that you guys are listening to over in Europe. Tomorrow, well, no, it's today for me. It's at 10 p.m. or a.m. my time.
Ripley
The
doesn't know what
world's
time it is.
best-selling watch has a new generation tomorrow. and
Yes.
We don't know what else is going to be unveiled, but there
Mhm.
will be more of these little black boxes
Yeah.
on people's wrists.
What do we think? What killer app could they put on the Apple Watch to actually make it
All
sell
I
more?
want is what comes on the Hublot smartwatches. It's just a cool face. And when you lift your wrist, gears and parts fly together and turn themselves into a
Iron
skeletonized
Man.
minute repeater and then chime out the time to me. That's all I
Right.
want.
Okay. And I want the
What even
Hublot
is this? This is
USB
very
socket.
technical, but like this is not engaging for me.
Yeah. Well,
That's
me neither
niche.
as well.
That would be
Happens.
fun.
Yeah. Anyway, David, very excited by smartwatches as ever. Right. Well, that's it for the main show. You can
David gets to go
always.
cover all the pretty stuff in Geneva, and then it's like, Ripley, we've got another Apple Watch coming out tomorrow. We need you to write another.
I stayed up in the middle of the night for a bunch of these stupid Apple event things for Apple Watch 2 and 2.5 and 3 and 3.5. And sometimes it was like, oh my God, it's the next great thing. And then 7 years go by and nothing happens. And it's just like Watch OS 10. I'm like, all right. I would be very excited about some news. I can't even say with a straight face cases because that's not gonna happen probably. Whatever,
I
getting
think
like you
I
say,
think they need to give it a proper watch number, like the Apple Watch 220.239.301.
Disastrous
Just
reference numbers
excellent
for everybody.
idea.
disastrous reference
Yes.
numbers. That's what the
What a
Apple
great
Watch
idea.
needs to really enter into the spirit of all things. Watch it needs a ridiculous reference number. No, get rid of these 10s and 11s and 17s. A ridiculous number.
Quit telling me about the biometric capabilities. I just want to hear about the passion and what mountain this was inspired by.
Okay, so what will be so predictions for next week, because we haven't done what you like this week. That's still kicking around. Predictions as to the most used word in the Apple Watch presentation.
AI.
Passion. AI.
AI. Yeah.
And the fact that Apple doesn't do AI is
Sustainable and car crash. These are my three tips.
Sustainable and car crash.
Yeah.
Ripley, would you like to nominate?
AI is definitely going to be one of them. Sustainable is probably a good one, but for the purposes, I'm going to come up with a few others. I'm going to say AI, titanium, and you. They really like to emphasize us. They're building everything for us. This helps
us.
you. Yes.
Not
They
for the
have all of
shareholders.
my data. This is for you, but for us to spy on you. It's
Right,
it's
okay.
all around that.
Cool. Okay.
Good point.
I think AI, biometrics, and fashion.
And Rattrapant.
And Rattrapant. An outlier for the use of the word Rattrapant. If they use the word Rattrapant, that person wins. If somebody who's listening on the tech world, and we have some tech folk that listen, if you're going to the event, you're not going, are you, Ripley? Are you going to the?
No, in
Not
the
this year, I
past
think.
several years, we've gone where they've
Mhm.
done big things like the 10th anniversary, the Ultra.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, this will be less intensive than previous years as far as what we're getting on the watch side. I'd guess they'd probably going to put their efforts into another vertical like phones
yeah.
or whatever else
Yeah.
they make over there.
Wearables. I just wanted you to be able to ask the question of Tim Cook. Has it got a Rattrapant function in it, and see what he says. So if there's any
Does
tech
the watch say
journalists
"Good morning" in the morning? To wake you up.
Excellent. Right, that is our main show for this week. If you go to the Blog to Watch Weekly Live channel, you can tune into a little bit extra and a little bit of preamble as well. Other than that, thank you very much. Email the show podcast at blogtowatch.com if you've anything to say, or
Email us.
follow us on Instagram. Email us, you know you want to. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone in the chat, for joining us. We managed to avoid too many Hitler jokes, as we seem to have been quite Hitler orientated with balls, and then Elang and Zona. The chats were going on
Yeah.
in the live chat. So
You're wearing a Panerai, yeah.
and I'm wearing a Panerai. What's that rule called?
Off.
Godwin's law, that every watch discussion eventually comes to accusing each other of being Hitler, I think is the.
It's
the
up
way it
up
works.
to you, Rick, to destroy the reputation of the word Richard, so that Lunga has to rename their Richard Adolf Lunga watch to just.
Okay, I like that.
They can
Challenge
call it Adolf
accepted.
Lunga. If you
I'm
do
going
this
to become
service,
a war
it's gonna be called a
criminal.
Lunga, I guess.
Just going to call it Langa. Got to do something so terrible they have to drop
Yeah.
the name
Or-
Richard.
What if just all of our listeners, all of our readers just went into their nearest Longa boutique and said, "Why is this one called Richard? You mean like the podcast host guy, that Scottish fellow?"
I don't know if anyone's watched the Jim Jeffries comedy show on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon that's just come out on, and he does a whole skit about the fact that Hitler obviously made it inappropriate to wear small moustaches, and his
Yeah.
main joke is, what happens if the next genocidal maniac has bangs, and all the women now can't wear bangs. He just thinks he thinks that a small moustache might make his face just look perfect, Mr. Jeffries. But there we go. Grand. Right, I think that is us for this week. For this goes even further off the rails. Thanks for joining in the chat. That was much appreciated, everybody. Number of usual suspects, a few newbies there as well. Do chip in, and we'll see you all again soon.